people. Our topic today is Behaviorism versus Constructivism. Do you know what behaviorism is? According to Phillips and Saltis, behaviorism is a learning theory that only focuses on objectively observable behaviors and discounts any independent activities of the mind.
Teacher, may I know what the behavior is?
Good question, my dear. Some of the behaviorists are Edward Thorndike, B.F. Skinner, and Ivan Pavlov. Thorndike is the founder of the behaviorism theory, while B.F. Skinner is the father of modern behaviorism. He is known by his operant conditioning theory. Ivan Pavlov is known by his classical conditioning theory. And Constructivism is a learning based on students' active participation in problem solving and critical thinking regarding a learning activity which they find relevant and engaging. Some of the constructivists are Maria Montessori and Vygotsky.
Sorry, I'm quite confused. What is actually the connections between these two theories?
Actually, both theories have connections. Behaviorism is to observe student development in terms of physical, while constructivism encourages students to think critically. So basically, we apply both theories in our daily life. What about the benefits of behaviorism theory of learning? We have to remember that behaviorism is easily controlled by the teacher. Next, some learners get benefit from repetition process, and reward and punishment are really clear. Last one is ease of motivation. Well, constructivism has the benefits too. It encourages the higher level of thinking skill of the student, focusing mainly on the student, where we call it as student-centered, help in gain confidence of the learners, and encourage the teamwork skill. All these things are supported by John Jacques Rousseau, as he said that all education must be aimed at eventually leading children to think for themselves and become autonomous individuals capable of genuine moral action. But hey, don't think every theory is perfect. There are still limitations too. Let's take a look at these and find ways how to overcome it. As we can see, for the behaviorism, the first limitation is learners are less active in learning process and teachers orientated. So, the way to overcome this is teachers should set up environment that lead children to have a critical thinking. And then, teachers should expose the student with appropriate stimuli. The second limitation is the change in behavior is due to association between stimulus and response. Meaning here, the student only give the response to the teacher when teacher asks question. They don't have their own initiative to give their own opinion. So, the way to overcome this situation is teacher should allow the student to develop naturally and lead them to think for themselves. The last limitation for behaviorism is it ignores the understanding process and emotion of the student. So, to overcome this, teacher should ask the student feedback on what they learned at the end of the lesson and should consider their learning process and emotion. The first limitation for constructivism is time management. Teachers should actually identify the weak student and spend more time with them. Next, constructivism required a higher level of self-management. So, teachers need to guide students when they need help. Another limitation is constructivism required more money if compared to behaviorism. So, how to overcome this? My suggestion is teachers just need to use all things around them or just go for recycle. Last one, constructivism bring unpredictable outcomes. Take it easy and let it be. What teachers need to do is just face all the outcomes and try to adjust it with the curriculum.
Then teacher, what is the role of environment in the process of learning? I'm really eager to know about it.
Good. Thank you for the question. Actually, environment play a big role in process of learning as it need to be secured. Environment can make students feel safe and supported. This is where the abilities and life achievement are obtained. Next, environment help in creating self-directed learning. Meaning here, students take their own responsibility to do their own learning. This leads them to have individual learning in order to function well. Other than that, environment provides intellectual challenge. People nowadays are competing each other, which lead them to get higher achievement. The last one is active involvement in learning. This is where students try out new ideas and gaining new experience.
Okay, let's take a look at this picture. Which picture are better? Of course, picture B, right? This is because in picture B, it encourages students to discuss to each other, and it easy the student to gain new idea because the students are in group and they are able to communicate to each other. Compared to picture A, it is more teacher orientated. The students doesn't have opportunity to construct their own ideas and learning. What about these two pictures? For me, picture B is much better as it provides nature environment of learning for the students. The students are given the opportunity to learn outside the classroom. They will feel different and enjoy the learning as they get new experience. While in picture A, it is just a common classroom environment. And of course, it is quite boring.
What educators learn from these theories are the theories really help the educators to explain steps to the student in order to successfully achieve the concept. The students just need to practice what has been taught to them and succeeds before moving on. The theory also helps in creating discipline and effective learning as it already be practiced. Sometimes the theory is restricted as there is always limitation for every theory, but teachers learn to encourage students in critical thinking and inquiry by asking them thoughtful, open-ended questions and encourage them to ask questions to each other. Last but not least, based on what we have learned in class, we choose constructivism to be applied in classroom instead of behaviorism because this theory believes more on learning by doing so that learning will be more profound. Then, through the process of accommodation and assimilation, individuals construct new knowledge from their experience. Next, change in behavior is due to personally interpretation of facts, concept and generalization. Lastly, it helps learners to become what they want to be.